This is the Leo Clamaco podcast.
Oh, that's so funny. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Okay.
Are you living your dream life, or is there anything else that you need to accomplish?
I am living part of my dream life for sure. I think there's a lot of trade-offs, or I know there's a lot of trade-offs.
Right.
I guess I will go back to what you said about being a female, and I'll be a little bit vulnerable here. I did not end up having a child because I was going around running a business.
Got it.
So it's different for men.
Those were your babies.
Yeah, those were my babies. And my men counterparts, they get to have a wife who stays home and procreate the child and have the child. So there's where the big, huge trade-off was.
Got it.
So I still, if that makes sense, that's the real big, big thing. And of course, being one of the first entrepreneurs, I mean, when I grew up, I didn't see a female entrepreneur. We didn't see them. Sarah Blakely lived in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta. We were the first ones that you saw be female entrepreneurs. You know, I didn't even know that word. I was pre-med.
Right.
It was either a doctor or a lawyer to make money.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's very pioneering of you.
Yeah. So that's
to pave that way.
Yeah, we didn't know we were paving it at the time, but yes, that is a big factor in it. You know, because I'm traveling in a different city every week. You're constantly on the road. You're constantly have a million moving parts, and to have someone, a partner in life, who can appreciate that and be supportive of that is tricky.
It is. It really is.
I'm sure for anyone, but for a girl, very tricky.
Yeah. No, I can definitely understand that. I have 2 young ones, and it's a lot easier for me than it is for my wife. You know, I can get to travel, I can get to go places, and if she wants to come, we have to get a sitter, or everybody has to come together.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It's very different.
Right. So that is the one aspect of it, but that dream did not come to fruition.
Got you. What was it like being named Woman of the Year from Glamour magazine?
That was really cool because I was the only one in the Southeast.
Right.
So that was a really neat accomplishment at a very young age. But it was by default, I will say. They did do it because you had to be a female.
Okay.
So we just happened to be one of the only females who had started a bar. But it was very, very cool, and started that recognition that gave me the recognition from Lil and them to know that I was the real deal. I wasn't just... There's people all the time who walk up and say, I want to do one of these in, Tennessee, or I want to do these in Gatlinburg.
Right.
There's people saying that all the time, but, had validity of, yes, I know what I'm doing. Let's move forward and really let this girl do this.
Was there a ceremony? Was there like an award given to you?
Yes, there was. Yeah, there was a big ceremony. Saturn threw the ceremony, and it was in Atlanta, and it was a very cool day. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's very cool. To be able to say that, not many people can say that. It's
yeah,
very cool.
It is cool. I still have the little award hanging. Yep.
That's awesome. I know you do a lot of charity work. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that a little bit, and why is charity so important to you?
So, growing up, my mom was always so great we always gave back. Whether I walked with her marching dimes or feeding the hungry, again, we didn't have money, but we always did things through our church and always giving back. And now that I'm at a place to do that, and always have, ever since I was 22, it's like be involved or give money. Right. It's very, very important to me to give back to society, be part of the community.
I agree.
There's so many different ones I'm involved in, but just like this past week, it's closed to kids. And these are kids who just can't afford regular clothes for school, just tennis shoes.
That's crazy.
So to be able to do that, or there's a poor area around Tampa, and we just went and bought them an AC unit. It's 100 degrees. They have 4 kids at home. It's just very important for me to give back. And I do believe in karma and believe what comes around goes around. And it's just a unique alignment that my bars and businesses only seem to do better the more that I give. And I believe in tithing, and it's a Christian belief of mine as well, that you tithe and you give back. And you help those that are in need, not those who can help themselves. I'm very, very, that's where the split is. If you can help yourself, I do not believe in handouts.
Right.
I believe in helping those that need it.
I love that. Speaking about God, what role does God play in your life?
I'm Christian and pray. I have to pray a lot. God, please get me through this day. I think we always say we could be a better Christian, but I'm just a very spiritual person. I respect every religion and just respect people and just being a good human being. That's really what that means. I don't, want to go a certain religion. I'm very just spiritual and respect all religions, but just respect and just being a good person.
I think respect in general is lacking in the world today.
I agree with you 100%.
And a lot of people are just very low vibrational, not wanting to evolve, not wanting to have the self-love required to be empathetic to others.
I agree.
And
that's why you have to surround yourself around those type of people. As they say, surround yourself around the type of people you want to be.
Yes.
And it is hard, along the way, people do cut out of your life. When you become more successful, remind them of what they didn't become. And those parts are harder. But I agree with you. We were missing that empathy. It's not just like I said, the handouts, but the empathy of just caring for one another.
How do you think we rebuild that empathy? How do we become more human towards one another?
That's a good question. I think it's get off the internet more and get more in person together.
Yes.
And I've been better at that myself this past year, of trying to join more groups and more, where we're seeing each other face to face and having these conversations and things, because people are so lonely because they're sitting behind a computer or
Zoom
on Instagram or they're on this and they're seeing all these other people's lives. And that's why you see now America has dropped so much in happiness, because you're always comparing yourself to someone else.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. And it's so sad, because that's not, it is what means things in life are relationships and your happiness. And that's where your happiness derives from.
They're unable to zoom out and see that we live in the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
And you should be so blessed every single day to be here and have the opportunity to be able to do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
It mind boggles me how people can't see it. They can't pinpoint the fact that you live in an awesome country. You have all these opportunities. The internet allows you to do whatever you want today. Go after it.
Right. And I know you asked me that. So what do you think it is? Because yesterday, for instance, when I am in the Panhandle, they had the Blue Angel show.
Oh, cool.
And so what I said is there were a few gentlemen the last time I was there who didn't know what was happening, because it's very loud, and they were like, "What's happening?" I go, "Boys, that's the sound of freedom right there."
That's awesome.
And they were like, "Wow, that's so cool." And that's
so cool.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is what people now, we're not as aware of our military and what's happening and what they're really doing to protect us. So I think that's what I believe is bringing it back to being not just pro-America, just so it's all of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have more in common than we actually think.
100% we do. And that's what I mean by us getting together and having these conversations. Now, how do we make that happen? It's just people need to be part of that and join the groups or lead the groups or whatever it is to bring people together.
To add to that, I think people have to be willing to listen. I think people want to talk too much and just shout out their opinion and their beliefs, and they're not listening to others' opinions and others' beliefs.
I agree. And that's something I think I always listen to, is really listen. Like, I will sit down with anyone and listen to their belief system and why they believe. And I'm like, well, tell me why.
Right.
Tell me why you feel that way. And I've, of course, changed my mind on things over time as well.
Do you think the future is bright, or do you think we're heading for more chaos?
I would like to say for sure, I think like I said, I think the pendulum is swinging. I think people are tired of where we're at in America. I just got back from London, and it was the first time that I had heard them speak so poorly about America.
Really?
So seeing that happen, I do believe, and I do see in my friends and personal circles that pendulum swinging to the other side of, we need to get back to what America's really about. So I'm going to go for the positive one. And
future looks bright.
Future looks bright.
I agree. Talk to me a bit about your coaching program. How does that work? What type of coaching are you doing? And how can someone join your program?
Coaching program for
entrepreneurs, for leadership, for mentorship.
Mentorship.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So
let me ask you again.
okay, sure.
So talk to me about your mentorship. How's that going? And how does it work?
You know, I was really kind of stuck with all this knowledge I knew I had and wanted to share it. So I went through a new app called Intro.
Okay.
And it's a great space for you to be able to share that knowledge. And when I got done with the conversation, I felt so fulfilled. I think nothing gets you out of your own mindset of my problems and my issues than giving back to someone else. And it's not just about sharing your information. We talk about, like I said, I'm very honest about, freeze your eggs when you're 30. You don't know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, what's going to happen.
Very interesting.
Things like that. So sharing all about life, where it's not just sharing how to open a bar.
That's wisdom right
there. It's been very rewarding for me to share that, and then seeing their outcomes and whether I am able to connect them directly with a job, which I was at one point. That's awesome.
Very cool.
So I've really just enjoyed that part because I'm really at a great point where I have a great team and I still have to jump in there, but I have a lot of free time as well to give back that knowledge.
Yeah. Have you heard of an app called Connect?
I have not, so enlighten me.
You should definitely be on it.
Okay.
It's an app for entrepreneurs and for leaders.
Okay.
And if someone wants to ask you a question, you have a rate, whatever it may be, $20, $40 to ask you a question or to do a FaceTime with you for 5 minutes. And they ask their question and you get to reply back with whatever answer. So it's a way for you to connect, give access to other people to your knowledge.
Perfect.
Basically.
Well, that's similar to the Intro one. So I'll have to look into that one as well.
Yes.
And like I said, it's just a great live conversation you're having, or we meet in person if we happen to be in the same city.
Right.
Yeah. So that's very similar.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, thanks for that advice. I'll put that down.
Yeah, because I think you're very knowledgeable, and I think the more people have access to you and your knowledge, the better off they'll be.
Well, thank you.
Not to overwork you.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I got to enjoy the time too.
What do you think is your superpower?
My superpower, I think, is resilience. I guess I keep going back to that. Is that considered a superpower?
100%.
Okay, good. I was going to say.
The ability to keep going and not quitting.
To keep going. I mean, there's days where I don't think I can, but it's the wake up the next day and go, here we go. It's my superpower is definitely resilience to really get through anything that's been thrown my way.
Why? What do you think gives you that strength to when your mind is telling you no, but you tell yourself yes and you do it?
I think because I have so many people who count on me and live, through like so many mouths I do feed,
right,
that I can't quit. Quitting's not an option, or, that's just greed, and me looking out for myself is not just the way I'm built. It's never been the way I'm built. So anyway, that's really what I would say is my superpower.
Awesome. If you could go back in time and change anything from your entrepreneurial journey, what would that be?
If I could change anything, it would be picking a few different cities and expanding earlier, younger.
Okay.
Yep. Some of the cities I chose.
You think you waited too long?
No, I didn't wait too long, but I picked a few cities that were not ideal. My ideal cities are vacation cities,
right,
beach cities, that I would have focused more on those type of cities. Those tend to do better. So if I look back, and I would have changed that.
Got it. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself living very similarly, but hopefully definitely have grown in business and as a person, and really just continuing this journey of literally giving back, doing the same things, and hopefully looking pretty similar.